Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until around 5 o'clock. With you till around 5 o'clock. Come on in. Come on in. Black Russian TC. Put them up on the screen. Y'all know. Black Russian. How you doing? Good afternoon. I'll go back here. Ross Freeman. Good afternoon. TC. Good afternoon. From I'm saying Forest Park, Kentucky. I saw somebody from Forest Park in here. We got Crystal. Crystal, good afternoon. Let me put the number on the screen. People will be saying, what's the number? And then they won't call. Y'all know how they do. But good afternoon from Forest Park. That's where I saw Forest Park. Butler Brown. Butler Brown. Good afternoon from Cartersville, Georgia. Got Crystal Hoskins. Oh, they're replying to somebody seeking attention. Miss Pittsburgh. Good afternoon. Dante. Good afternoon. What's up? What's up? Terry. Terry. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi. Nat Turner. Good afternoon. Checking in from Madville. My OSHA. In Avondale. Trying to stay awake. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Wake your ass up and do something. Andrea, good afternoon. Diane checking in from Covington, out there at work. Tria from Columbia Township. Hey, what's up? Got Black Lion in the house. What's up, Black Lion? Shirley, good afternoon. Westchester, still working. For all the people at work, you know, we just try to help you make it through your day. Trying to help you make it through your day. You can make it. You can make it. Carolyn, good afternoon. Screen on me. Mike, checking in from Dayton. All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. This thing is moving slow. I don't know what's going on. Hold on, hide that. Go back there. There we go. Phyllis, good afternoon. Scott said, hey there, everyone. Spring Grove. Oh, okay. Your grandson was born this morning. All right. You can't beat that. Diane says she's sleepy too. Y'all old ass is sleepy for. Now I'm just playing. I'm actually sleepy too. I'm sleepy too. I don't know why I'm sleepy. I blame my OSHA. Let's see. Rick, good afternoon. Good afternoon from Coleraine checking in. Got Erica. Erica, good afternoon. David from Hebron, not Amazon. All right. Got Sabrina from Kentucky as well. Brenda from Fairfield checking in. All right. That's it. Let's oh, I'm sorry, Dwayne. I see you in Mount Airy. Used to live in Mount Airy, home of the HVWA. I gotta make me some HVWA shirts. Some merch for the HVWA. Let's see. Let me see. Somebody said they was waiting on it. Waiting on what? Hold on. Nat says, I was waiting on it. This is the same call. I got to take this call. Hold on. All right. Yes, I'll be watching that little baby. I don't know if she's on her way right now, but we'll see what happens. Nat says he was waiting on it. Okay, I'm not sure what you were waiting on. How you gonna blame me? I wouldn't have even thought about the fact that I'm tired if you didn't bring up the fact that you sleepy. I wouldn't have thought about it. You brought it up, and then I don't remember who said they were sleepy too, and that made me think about the fact that I'm sleepy too. I wouldn't even thought about it. If your little whining ass wouldn't have brought it up, I'm sleepy. See, you the problem. Why y'all be hating on the HVWA? HVWA ain't did nothing to none of y'all. Let's see. Of course, we got to talk about the State of the Union address last night. I do have to apologize. I did actually intend on doing it, and close to 9 o'clock, I was headed down here to do it, but then something came up, and I had to deal with that. And so I started watching the State of the Union address probably about 7 minutes late, just because I had to handle something before it started. And then I didn't want to start the broadcast 7 minutes late for y'all to mock me about being late. So I just was like, if they watching it, they watching it. And if not, then. So I watched it like 7 minutes behind. But yeah, I'm sorry. I intended on it, but something came up, and you gotta handle stuff that you gotta handle. But I watched it. I have to admit, Joe Biden brought it. He brought it. I mean, I'm not even necessarily talking about content wise. I'll get into that in a moment. But just in terms of energy, like this man is 80 years old. And he got up there and he brought energy to the room, to the speech. Again, keeping in mind, I believe this is all political theater. Okay? I believe it's all political theater. So, yeah, he played his role, and he played his role well. It was a fun speech to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a good time. I laughed at some stuff. Okay, mainly, I just laughed at a lot of stuff. Because there was a lot of nonsense going on. But I thought he brought some good energy to... Hold on, let me bring my phones up over here in case somebody calls. You can call and, talk to me as well. 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. You can call and discuss it. I would love to hear from people, because I know there's a few of them on here. I know there are a few people on here who they don't care for Joe Biden. Some of them, people have their own reasons. I'm not even going to judge. People have their own reasons. And you got a right to feel however you want to feel. For whatever reason or non-reason you want to feel it. You got a right to feel how you want to feel. But I thought, in terms of a State of the Union address, I thought it was good. I thought it was engaging. It was a little more interactive probably than he would have wanted, but I think he did a really good job. It held my attention. I didn't fall asleep on it. Now, that response, for real, at one point, I was just listening and I was like, and I had to post it. What is she talking about? What was she talking about? And when she gave that long rambling story about her and the former president, I was watching one of the, I don't remember if I was because I watch the wrap up on basically the main three stations. I watch the wrap up on CNN, on MSNBC, and on Fox. And I don't remember which one of them, but somebody said during the speech, she never actually mentioned Donald Trump by name. Although she told a very lengthy story basically about him. But she never actually mentioned him by name. That says something. That says something. And I guess you can determine what it says, or I mean, if it says anything to you at all. But that says something that you don't even mention his name. Which, by the way, I'm not sure that she was the best person to pick to give that response. I mean, the response did nothing but make her look bad and make the Republicans look bad. But the fact that many of us, many Americans, look at her as just a dishonest, lying person. So there was nothing that she could have said that I would have taken seriously, because I know her to not have a single problem lying. Just out and out, blatantly lying. So if you know what I'm saying, you got a history of just, you know what I'm saying, like not even, because to me, there's a difference between, and you know, for some people they'll say there's no difference, you know, it's all the same. To me, there's a difference between having wrong information and giving that wrong information, but not knowing that the information is wrong, or taking information and kind of spinning the information so that it looks favorable on you. So somebody might look at the information and be like, technically that's true, but, you know, that's different than just flat out lying. Like, I know the truth. I'm just going to say the exact opposite with a straight face, or at least as straight as her face can be, but with a straight face, and just try to make you believe it. So we know her to be a liar. So I just couldn't take anything that she said seriously, like nothing. So it was on, and I was watching it, but at some point I tuned her out, because she was, you know, when she got to talking about the trip, it was before then, but I would be watching it, and I would see her and know she's talking. I can hear her, but my mind is somewhere else. I'm not listening to the words that she's saying. And then I hear her say something, and I'm like, did I imagine that she said she thought or she felt like she was in the military? Really? Did she say that? But she did say, one thing that she did say, I'm going to get back to Joe Biden, because that's more consequential. I can get this stuff out the way first. She did say something along the lines of, it's no longer a choice between left and right, but between normal and crazy. And of course, the internet said the same thing that I was thinking. Who's gonna tell her that she's on the crazy side? Who's gonna tell Sarah that she's in the crazy wing? If it's just a choice between normal and crazy, your side is the crazy side. But I've always said this. I don't think crazy people realize that they're crazy, because they're crazy and they think they're normal. Whereas the rest of us look at them like, you do realize you crazy, don't you? No, they don't. They don't think that they're crazy. So, all right, it's a choice between normal and crazy. If that is the choice as defined by the Republicans, I'll choose the normal side, which is not the Republicans. It's not the Republicans. But back to Joe Biden. So Joe Biden gave what I thought was a really good speech, just in terms of the theater of it all. Now, in terms of substance, look, like I said, it is theater. So some of this stuff is just It is what it is. But I don't know that you can look at his speech. And again, I would ask the people who don't like Joe Biden. The people who don't like Joe Biden. I would ask you, did he lie? What did Joe Biden say in that speech that's factually inaccurate? Did he skew some, and maybe some of his, here are the facts. Here's my conclusion. Was his conclusion maybe skewed a little more to his side? Sure, of course. Because who's not going to do that? But what did he say that was a lie? What did Joe Biden say that was factually inaccurate? And I don't know that you can find anything. I went through, of course, y'all know, somebody always doing something. Where is the fact-checking Joe Biden? Fact-checking the State of the Union address from the New York Times. And, they do this all the time. So they have some things that he said. And then they tell you whether or not it was true or false or somewhere in between. So I'm going to run through a few of these. I will put them up on the screen, but I still feel like that's a little clunky when I do it. So I'm going to, hold on. No. Let me ask y'all. Would y'all rather me just read these, or do y'all want to see them up on the screen, even though it's clunky, the time that it takes me to get everything adjusted? Do y'all want me to take the time and just be clunky, put it on the screen, or are y'all cool with me just reading it? So just type clunky or read. Clunky or read. Clunky mean go ahead and put it up on the screen. We'll deal with all the clunky stuff. Or read it mean don't even waste our time. And I know somebody is thinking, Emanuel, all the time that you using doing this daggone poll, you could have already put it up on the screen. I guess that's true. But a number of people saying, man, just read it, damn it. Just read it. Okay, a few people saying it's clunky. It's clunky. Can you put our messages up and read? Hold on. Janice says, just be clunky like you always are. Okay, hold on. Let me do it. I can try to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. All right. Messages, there they go. Messages on the screen. All right. So, one thing down. Now, number 2. Some people said, just read it. Just read it. Some people said, just go clunky, because that's what you do. So just do what you do. Just do what you do. I'm actually in the process of doing the clunky thing. No, that's the wrong one. See, this is why I don't like to do the clunky thing. I got to move that here. I'm going to go ahead and do the clunky thing because it's going to take the same amount of time either way. All right. So we're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. Y'all still going to see me. Hey, sax. Y'all still going to see me. So it's cool. You're not going to miss the main portion of the show, which is me. Okay, let's see. We're going to go here and I'll just leave it up here. I won't put myself in there. All right. Hold on. Let me move that. All right. This is the New York Times. They're fact checking. Joe Biden said, I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs, more created in 2 years than any president has created in 4 years. They say, and people didn't like that. They kind of booed him on that. Like, boo, boo, boo. Well, they say, okay, this needs context. The economy added 12.1 million jobs between January 2021, the month when Biden took office. And this, by raw numbers, this is indeed a larger increase in new jobs over 2 years than the number added over other presidents' full 4-year term since at least 1945. Which means what he said is factually accurate. But by percentage, the job growth in Mr. Biden's first 2 years still lags behind that of his predecessor's full terms. Under Mr. Biden, jobs have increased by 8.5% since his term began. That jump is less than that in President Barack Obama's first full term, 8.6%. Bill Clinton's first full term, President Reagan's second full term, and Jimmy Carter's 4 years in office. Mr. Biden is, of course, comparing his first 2 years in office with the entire term or presidencies of his predecessors. So that comparison is not equivalent. And then, of course, they have to tell you Mr. Biden's first 2 years in office followed historic job losses wrought by the coronavirus pandemic. And, of course, presidents are not singularly responsible for the state of the economy, which is true. Second thing that was said, for too many decades, we imported products and exported jobs. Now, thanks to what you've all done, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs. They say this is misleading, although you can't say it's false. Mr. Biden's statement gives the impression that a decades-old trend was reversed, but the data tells a different story. American exports reached a new high in 2022, with exports of goods alone topping $2 trillion. But the United States also imported a record high last year, $3.3 trillion in goods, countering the notion that exports have slowed. As a result, the United States also recorded the highest ever trade deficit since 1970 of $950 billion and a trade deficit in goods of $1.1 trillion. All right. What he said, inflation has been a global problem because the pandemic disrupted our supply chains, and Putin's unfair and brutal war in Ukraine disrupted energy supplies as well as food supplies. Of course, they're talking about this needs more context, but again, they're not saying, oh, that's false. That's false. I'm not going to read through that. He said food inflation is coming down. They say that's true. That's true. Food inflation is beginning to slow, though it remains very rapid. So that's true. Inflation has fallen every month in the last 6 months, while take-home pay has gone up. Again, it's not false. So it doesn't say false. They're just saying this, it needs context. And to me, that just means, okay, what he said is factually accurate, but it might lead you to believe, like he's trying to get you to believe something in a way that, you know, he's kind of taking it out of context, which is different than a lie. It's true that inflation has slowed for the past 6 months. That means the prices are still increasing, but they're doing so more gradually. All right. So it's also true wages are climbing sharply compared with the pace that would be normal. So that's true. He said, we're finally giving Medicare the power to negotiate drug prices. Again, they're not saying it's false. They're not saying it's false. They're saying, hold on. I see somebody saying, Jason says that is extra false. Wow. He says it's extra false. Hold on. It's also true that wages are climbing sharply compared with the pace that would be normal. But for much of 2021 and 2022, wage gains struggled to keep up with rapid price increases. Average hourly earning increases exceeded consumer prices on a monthly basis in both November and December 2022. Now, Jason, you said it's false. Where are you getting your information that it's not false? You can't say just because your money ain't gone up, that don't mean wages, because that's not just a you thing. In the last 2 years, my administration has cut the deficit by more than $1.7 trillion, the largest deficit reduction in American history. Again, they don't say this is false. They just say it needs context, which means technically it's true. The federal deficit did increase by $1.7 trillion from $3.1 trillion in the 2020 fiscal year to $1.4 trillion in the 2022 fiscal deficit. Though Mr. Biden's Decrease. I think I said increase. Though Mr. Biden's fiscal policies are not the sole factor. He didn't say that they were the sole factor. He just said it happened. And it happened. It's factually accurate. Nearly 25% of the entire national debt took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone, the last one. They booed him on that. They say he was lying. Well, the New York Times, they're not saying he lied. They're just saying this needs context. Check out the first few words here. Mr. Biden is correct. That means it wasn't a lie. Mr. Biden is correct that a quarter of the national debt was accumulated over the 4 years Mr. Trump was in office. So that means it's true. It's true, but the former president did not unilaterally add to that amount. In fact, two major factors driving that increase were mandatory spending levels set long before Mr. Trump took office and bipartisan spending bills that were passed to address the pandemic. But what he said was factually accurate. He said, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Again, they're saying this needs context. In other words, okay, what he said is true, even though they were screaming liar, liar, and all other kind of nonsense. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But they were screaming that and all other kind of nonsense. And they say President Biden implied that the Republicans who want to allow Social Security and Medicare to sunset were tying those demands to the fight over raising the nation's debt limit. It is true that a couple of Republicans have suggested allowing those entitlement programs to sunset as mandatory spending, instead bringing them up for a regular renewal. So it's true. It's true. Let me see. Oh, something else. Okay, no, I guess that was about it. So, what did he say that was factually inaccurate? Ben says, just go ahead and say it. Joe Biden is your great white hope. Ben, what did he say that was factually inaccurate? It's a simple question. I'm just asking. What did he say that was factually inaccurate? Again, I get you don't like Joe Biden. You would prefer to still have Donald Trump. I get that. But what did he say that was factually inaccurate? Ben. And I'll tell you, I was shocked by the things that the Republicans, or by some of the things that the Republicans could not stand in agreement with. Because while it is, it's political theater, it means something in the context of the speech. When both sides applaud and maybe even stand in agreement. It means there's certain things that there should just be like almost universal. Certain things should be almost universal. Like if you're an elected official in the United States of America and someone says, I want America to succeed. You should agree with that. Like, yeah, I want America to succeed too. Yes. You shouldn't be like, boo. Really? You don't want Americans to succeed? Really? He said, teachers should get a raise. I would think everybody would be like, yeah, because I think we all understand that teachers are underpaid for what they're asked to do. The task and the challenge in front of them. They couldn't even be like, yeah. At one point he said, and I don't remember the exact wording, but Basically, he said we have to reject hate and hate speech. And the Democrats were like, yeah. And the Republicans are like, and I'm like, really? You can't agree that hate is bad? That hate speech is bad? You can't agree to that. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? He said, everybody should earn a living wage. You can't agree that people should earn a living wage. Like, really? You think? Because if you don't agree, that means the opposite to me. Teachers should get a raise. Like, no, they shouldn't. Really? They shouldn't? Teachers shouldn't get a raise. You don't think teachers deserve more money? People should earn a living wage. No, they shouldn't. People shouldn't earn a living wage. People should live in poverty. Like, really? And I for real, we should not accept hate and hate speech. Like, no, I kind of like hate and hate speech. Really? You think in the chambers, in the halls of the United States government, hate and hate speech should have a place? Really? So there were a few times and a few things that was said, and I was like, I really wish, and it would be, I don't want to be the president. I wouldn't be a good president, but I would love to give the State of the Union address. And when I said something like, teachers deserve a raise, and the other side didn't clap, I would be like, really, you don't think teachers deserve a raise? Really? Y'all really don't believe teachers deserve a raise on this side? America, you see? When I said I think people should, earn a living wage, and my side was clapping and the other side wasn't, I would be like, America, you see, they don't agree that you should earn a living wage. It wouldn't be good. That's why, I couldn't be the president. I would turn around to Kevin McCarthy and say, really, Kevin? You really don't believe that teachers deserve to make more money? Really? Interesting. I wouldn't be good in that position. But I would definitely do it. I would definitely do it. So, yeah, I was just a little shocked. Again, just a little. And then, of course, what a lot of people saying, the big moment was when he was talking about Social Security, and that some Republicans, basically wanted to sunset, which again, is factually accurate. It's factually accurate. And of course, the Republicans went bonkers, and they was gonna find one of the nutty ones. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is shouting out, liar, liar. And they're hollering and screaming and jeering, and I was like, this is shocking. This is shocking. And the reason why I thought it was shocking is because y'all remember not too long ago, what was his name? Joe Wilson. What was it? 2009. Barack Obama is giving the State of the Union address. And September 9th, 2009. And he began to outline his proposal for reforming healthcare. And Joe Wilson yelled out, "You lie." Everybody remember that. And it was shocking. It was shocking. This was 2009. And this was shocking that somebody would yell out during the State of the Union address, "You lie." Obama's chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, immediately approached senior Republican lawmakers They asked them to identify the heckler, and they urged them to have him apologize immediately. Members of Congress from both parties condemned the outburst. Republicans said it was inappropriate, disrespectful, tasteless, all the above. Y'all remember that? Let me see. John McCain said there is no place for that in this setting or any other, and said that he should apologize immediately. Y'all remember that? This was Democrats and Republicans saying, one dude just screaming out one time, "You lie." Everybody said, "No, cuz, that ain't how we ain't supposed to get down like that in here. That's rude, it's disrespectful, and that's not how we do it. You owe that man an apology." And you know what he did? He apologized. He came out. This is a statement. "This evening, I let my emotions," this was the same evening. "This evening, I let my emotions get the best of me when listening to the president's remarks regarding the coverage of undocumented immigrants in the health care bill. While I disagree with the president's statement, my comments were inappropriate and regrettable. I extend sincere apologies to the president for this lack of civility." Y'all remember that? I didn't remember the apology, but he apologized that night. They later, Obama accepted his apology. They later went on and they condemned him. John Boehner, who was the minority leader at the time, said, "I think that this is a sad day for the House of Representatives." But they went on and they voted to, what did they censure him? They passed a resolution of disapproval. The House passed a resolution of disapproval. Remember, this was just a guy who said, "You lie." This was 2009. Now 2023, "You lie" would have been tame. They were going bonkers in there, just screaming out, "Liar! It's your fault!" Just all kind of stuff. This was 2009. How far are we falling? Dana, of course I bring this up because, look, not that y'all not aware of it, but it's important to pay attention to the lack of civility in discourse. And then it doesn't just extend to discourse. We have extremists elected. Extremists elected to government. And yeah, Samuel, it's just business as usual now. But we're not talking about like in 1970. We're not talking about in 1970, somebody yelled out, "You lie," and then there was condemnation from both sides. We're talking about 2009. So it's just interesting. It's not going to get better unless people make it get better. But again, it's all theater. It's all theater. So, I mean, it's part of the show. It's part of the show. But, yeah, I found that to be interesting. But again, I enjoyed the speech. He did shut him down. He created a situation now where, how bad will they look now if they try to push the whole Medicare, Social Security sunsetting and having to be reapproved? Now, even as I finished saying that, I thought about it. They don't really care how bad they'll look. So while it seemed like he kind of got a win, like he pinned them in the corner. When you're dealing with people who lying is nothing, I will stand up. You can watch. I'm not saying it started with Trump, but I think Trump took it to another level. We listen to Trump say stuff, and then Trump would come back the next day and say, I never said that. And then you play him the tape or the recording, and he'd be like, yeah, no, I didn't say that. Like, bruh, we got a recording of it. So it's not like them being pinned against the wall means anything. Because they don't care. Integrity means nothing. I mean, that's a lot of people. Integrity means nothing to them. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But no, again, I enjoyed it. I'm trying to go back and read some of the comments. Nat says Trump initially said COVID was fake, but he got the shot first. Yeah, they don't. When you got people who care about honesty and integrity a little bit, then you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll make you say that you won't do this publicly. And then if they flip on it, and people call them on it, like, but you said you wouldn't do that. And then at the very least, they'll have to explain why they changed their minds. These people, they'll say, hold on, but y'all said y'all didn't want to sunset Social Security and Medicaid. No, we never said that. Be like, hold on, this is the State of the Union. See what Joe Biden said that, and you were screaming liar. No, that wasn't me. I wasn't screaming liar. But we got the video of you screaming liar. No, I didn't. This is a political hit job. It's a witch hunt. But we see you. We're playing the video right now. No, that's not me. It's a witch hunt. You're like, what the? That's these people. They don't care. Remember, our choice is between normal and crazy. Between normal and crazy. I had a little bit of a debate with a guy last night after the State of the Union debate. But he said he doesn't support Joe Biden because Joe Biden could, by executive order, sign the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act into law. Of course, I said, that's not the way it works. And he told me that it was the way that it works, and, reminded me I'm not the smartest guy in the room. He assured me that I was not the smartest guy in the room. And of course, I questioned that because I said the only two people in the room were you and I. That makes me by far the smartest person in the room. And I sent him a copy of Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill. You know what I'm saying? I sent him that. Like, that's the way bills become law. But he wasn't really trying to hear me. And look, I get it. If you don't like Joe Biden, you don't like Joe Biden. If you don't like his policies, you don't like his policies. But at least, your objections should be somewhat reasonable. They should be somewhat reasonable. He says, well, he passed that Asian hate. He did that executive order and made that a law, that Asian hate crime. Why can't he do that for George Floyd? And I pointed out to him that that's factually inaccurate. I forget the name of it, the COVID-19, something about hate crime law or whatever it was, what we commonly refer to as the Asian hate crime bill, was an actual bill. The act was proposed by, I believe, a representative. It was passed by the House, passed by the Senate, and sent to the president to sign. And I believe once he signed it, he said, "I signed your bill. Now you're a law." That part I made up. But it wasn't an executive order. It was an actual piece of legislation that passed both houses and was sent to him. And then he got mad at me again. Because sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes that's what happens when, you know what I'm saying, you prove things to people that they don't want to believe. So now you forgot your evidence to prove you right. I don't know what you're talking about. Be a little more clear. Because I told him, just like I told him, like I'm telling you, Ben, you can look this stuff up. You can look this stuff up. Just check it out. Just check it out. You can look it up. He is, Quintano. He just saying stuff now. There's a way that things work. So Joe Biden can't just, by executive order, make the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act law. I think it should be passed. It should have passed a long time ago. Should have passed a long time ago. And then send it to his desk. And then when he don't sign it, then you say, "Hey, why didn't you sign this?" Well, I don't know that you can blame him for the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act not being a law yet. Just little stuff. But I enjoyed the State of the Union address. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. More than I thought I would. And Black Lion, I saw Black Lion said something about him being banned. I know you're not banned here. You can dial 513-717-5464. I can't speak for Lincoln. I'm not there. I can't, you know what I'm saying? You call and use a fake name and let you on. I can't do that no more. I can't do that no more. I'm not there. Oh. Oh, I can't do that. Kenneth says, Instigator Livingston, somebody gonna slide you. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Somebody gonna slide me. Y'all know I'm not that hip. I don't know all of the new lingo. You know what I'm saying? You got to say it to me in plain nerd speak. What does that mean? Somebody's gonna beat me up? Is that what that means? I don't know what that means. I genuinely don't know what that means. TC says it should have became a law while the knee was on the neck. Yeah. TC says slide mean whoop your A. I'm not concerned about that. Look, I've been beat up before. I done had a number of fights in my life. I'm much heavier on the winning side than the losing side. But I've lost some. I don't fear losing a fight. I'm 52. I have no desire to fight, just for the record. But that's not a fear of mine. Not at all. I don't want some, I don't lost some. But you ain't gonna punk me out. Like I'm not gonna stop talking because somebody, some stalker say that they gonna do something to me. I'm not worried about that. So that's that. Daryl says, basically somebody gonna steal on you in public. I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about that. Not at all. Not at all. That stalker might need to be concerned about the aftermath of that. But that's just my thinking. That's just my thinking. Oh. What else? Daryl said he got my back. I appreciate that. You know that, but for real, that is to some degree the level of discourse that happens. I say, I don't, whatever. Somebody says, like, there's a few ways that you can respond. Like, Emanuel, I disagree with that, and lay out your case. Or, you know what I'm saying, you could be disrespectful or whatever. But you know, if you disrespectful, I'm gonna probably be disrespectful back. And then you're gonna be mad, like, well, you didn't have to be disrespectful. Like, you know, you sound like a damn fool. And then I'll be like, no, you sound like a damn fool. Oh, you calling a fool. Why you got the right to call me a fool? Like, well, you just called me a fool. And that's like, for some reason, that's the anatomy of a disagreement in this environment. And it's like ridiculous and childish. I disagree with, I'm bringing up Janice. Because I like Janice. And because Janice and I disagree about stuff all the time. All the time. Janice and I, we disagree about stuff. Because I'm trying to get her to come to the right side. To the right side. She's on the wrong side. I'm trying to get her to come to the right side. We disagree all the time. I ain't never threatened to punch Janice in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never threatened to punch Janice in the mouth. And to my knowledge, that she ain't never said it to my face anyway, she ain't never threatened to punch me. But somehow, we can disagree. We can debate things, even sometimes aggressively. I think Janice has called me names. It damaged me spiritually and emotionally. But it was never like aggressive. I don't actually think that she's called me well, she might have. But I don't think names in that sense. She might have said that maybe, you know what I'm saying, I was something that I said was ignorant or uncalled for or something like that. And I'll respond and, you know, we'll back and forth. And then that'll be that. That'll, you know what I'm saying? She'll agree that I'm ignorant. Again, we don't agree that I'm ignorant. She will agree that I'm ignorant. And many times at the end, I'm like, but I still love you, Janice. And she like, I still love you too, Emanuel. And it's genuine. It's genuine. So we can disagree about things, even aggressively disagree about things. But come on, y'all. We grown. We not 7 or 17. We got to be able to disagree, have the conversations, and move on. And move on. And I you know, it's really difficult to believe that people are grown men are that obsessed with other grown men's opinion. that you want to fight a grown man because he don't agree with your opinion. And I always say this, and I always mean this. If I'm going to fight you over opinions, we got to have an agreement. Whoever wins, the other person has to 100% adopt the other person's opinion from here until the end of time. That makes sense to me. Other than that, what's the fight for? I don't agree with you. Well, I don't agree with you. I think the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act should be signed. I don't. All right. So we gonna fight. And if I win, then you got to agree that it should be signed. But if you win, then I will agree that it should never be signed. That's the only reason to, because other than that, what? We just fight. I still disagree with you. You still disagree with me. Somebody beat up or we both beat up, and that's that. That don't make sense. Hold on. We got Ben. And these people who got so much to say, like text-wise, but they're afraid, like legit afraid to have their voices heard. I'll give, there's a listener, caller, whatever, Ron Dula. I will give him credit. He might be on like some real ignorant stuff. And he always sound like he lunching. And as, you know, ignorant and misled as one can possibly sound. But at least he don't mind calling in, having the conversation. And then you got Ben. I remember you swore up and down Joe Biden didn't push the vaccine mandates, and you were wrong. Well, here's what I'll say about that. I don't remember swearing up and down that he didn't. But I do remember thinking that he wasn't, I thought they started under Trump. I thought they started under Trump. And I was wrong. No, that just blew somebody's mind. Like, well, why don't you ever admit you wrong? Like, he just said he was wrong. But he don't never admit when he wrong. But he just said he was wrong. But he can't never admit that he wrong, though. But he just said he was wrong. Like, I didn't say I was wrong, but I said I was wrong. That pause means hard stop. No excuses, unequivocal, I was wrong. After you say I was wrong, I don't know what you want me to say. So I'm not even sure what you brought that up to prove what? I don't understand y'all. Janice says, I love a heated debate. It's invigorating. It's about the issues, not the individual. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry, he posted it again. Okay. Let me see. I'm at work, dude. Can't call. Will you pay my salary to call? Yes. You call, I will pay your salary to call. Yes. I don't think you're at work. I think you posting way too much to be at work. And you saying too much nonsense to be at work. So I don't think you at work. So here's the deal I'll make with you. Because I'm always about a good deal. Here's the deal I'll make with you. You say you at work, so you can't call. You call in. And then you let me know where you work and your schedule. I'll show up quietly. I want to see you at work during the time period in which this show is on. And then once I see that, let's calculate your salary for the time of the call I give you my word, I will pay you that money. I give you my word. And everybody's listening. I will pay you that money out of my pocket. I will pay you the money that you would have been making during the time of the call. Deal? 513-717-5464. Just say I'm not going to call. Just say you're not going to call. No, not yours. See, I can make deals like that. Like the time that I think I tried to bet Lincoln $1,000 or something. I'm not a betting man. But if I know in my spirit, or just know factually, a thing to be true, I will bet. In my spirit, I know he ain't calling because he at work. I know that in my spirit. So I don't even have to worry about that. Oh. No, that was another one. I bet him $7,000 because he bet me that there are no shoes that don't have a logo on them on the outside. He made that ridiculous assertion. I said, I bet you $7,000 that. I bet you $7,000. He said, bet. And then I showed him a picture of a shoe with no logo on it. And he was like, well, but on the inside, that wasn't a bet. That wasn't a bet. No, I'm sorry. It was a name, not a logo. And I showed him a picture with no name and no logo of a shoe. No name, no logo. And then he wanted to change it. Because I knew, I know what I know. I know what I know. I believe Ross Freeman, I just gave him some, now I'm going to get, he baited me. Because I tried, you know what I'm saying, you don't give air to some people because they can't take it. Like somebody posted something on my page last night. I forget what it was. And they wrote a comment. And then it was like 8 more comments from one particular stalker. Just that person having a conversation with themselves. Nobody responding to them or nothing. It's like one comment and then like 8 comments from this particular stalker. And I'm like, oh my God, that's not normal. That's not normal. It's not normal. Oh. Quintano say he got a pair right now. Wallaby Clarks. It's a whole lot of shoes, gym shoes that don't have a name or a logo on the outside. A whole lot of them. Let me see. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. What was it? Hold on. I pulled up the story. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me do this. Okay, that's there. Let's move to Memphis for a moment. If you want to talk more about the State of the Union or any of the other nonsense that I was just talking about, 513-717-5464. If you want to talk about that. But let's move to Memphis. Remember that there was this rumor that the Tyree Nichols, there was an officer and he was messing with the officer's girlfriend or baby mama or whatever it was. And the officers, this was a planned hit, and that he took a picture of him and then he sent it to the baby mama. Y'all remember that? And then a lot of people said, no, that's not true. And his father even said, look, that's not true. That's slandering my son. That's not true. Now, I'm not saying that that's true. I'm not saying that that's true, that he was messing with somebody's baby mama or nothing like that. I don't know that to be true. But, of course, if you hadn't heard, the story is out. One officer did send around pictures of Tyree Nichols' bloody face. Yeah. Apparently, the New York Times, they obtained public records. One of the 5 former Memphis police officers charged in the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols took photos of Nichols' bludgeoned body after the incident. The officer also sent the image to 6 people, including 2 more Memphis Police Department officers. Now, this story says, as if the camera footage of the officers bragging and laughing over Tyree's slumped body wasn't enough, and now there's more mockery being made of the incident. Demetrius Haley used his personal phone to take 2 pictures of Nichols after he was handcuffed. He then sent the pictures to 6 people, including 2 MPD officers and 1 woman acquaintance. They say the use of the personal cell phone was blatant unprofessionalism, and that's just one of the many policy violations and examples of misconduct the department found among the 5. The Memphis Police Department compiled the rest and documents to be sent to police officer standards and training in a request to decertify the police. According to the New York Times, in the documents, police officials described how the officers worked together as they severely beat Mr. Nichols. They appeared to relish the assault afterwards and then made a series of omissions and false claims in their report about what happened. I'm still shocked that there are people who are shocked that officers do this. The New York Times report goes on to say, despite policies requiring officers to activate their body cameras during all law enforcement encounters and activities, none of the officers' body cameras captured the entire incident. This is according to one document. They say one of the officers, Emmett Martin III, at one point put his body camera in his car. And that says to me, he knew either some bad stuff was going down or was about to go down. He knew some inappropriate stuff was going down or was about to be going down. Took off his body camera and put it in his car. The New York Times report goes on to say, in reports after the January 7th assault, at least 2 of the officers said that Mr. Nichols had tried to grab an officer's gun, a claim for which there is no evidence, according to the documents, while leaving out details of the beating. Yeah, it's terrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. But there are still people who are shocked, like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is happening. How can you not believe that this is happening? How can you not believe that this stuff is happening? What have you been paying attention to all of this time? We've been seeing videos since before Rodney King. There are certain places and certain officers who will beat your behind over having a camera trying to record them. To me, that always says they know that there's a possibility that they about to violate somebody's rights. But if you ain't doing nothing wrong, why would you have a problem being recorded? But then to take a picture of the young man laid on the ground, or propped up against a car. Propped up against a car. To take that picture, and there's a again, this stuff ain't made up. If you want to look away for a moment, look away for a moment. The actual still shot of the video of the cop taking a picture of Tyree Nichols propped up against a car. Why would you want to take that picture and send it to people? What in any human makes them look at that and say, "Ooh, let me take a picture of this. Let me send it to people"? What reasonable person does that? Janice asks, which is a good question, do you believe whites are abused as much or more by the cops as black people? Well, my guess would be basically because there's more white people in terms of sheer numbers. White people are probably abused more by police officers than black people. Just numbers wise, it only makes sense. Numbers wise, it makes sense. So that's what I would say. I think black people probably get it a little worse. But yeah, I believe white people, again, just because of sheer numbers. Like, you go somewhere where you got a whole lot of white people and a whole white police force. It ain't like the police is like, you know what? We're going to be honorable in this community. In this municipality where, we basically got nothing but white people, we're never going to assault a white person. No. If you disrespect their authority, their perceived authority, they will beat your ass. Whether you white, whether you black, whatever. Let me see. If so, why don't we ever see the videos? What happens to those body cams? I see some of those videos. They don't get a lot of publicity. That I'll give you. They don't get a lot of publicity. But again, I believe they don't get a lot of publicity. Because you know how they like to make the victim of police violence seem like a criminal. So if we just kept seeing videos of white people being abused by law enforcement, that would reinforce the notion that white people are out there committing crime. And they don't want to do that. So that's why I think it doesn't get a lot of attention. But that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any factual data to back that up. It's just my opinion. But the videos are out there. I see videos of police beating up white people, unnecessarily tasering white. Now I don't see a lot of videos of, like the sheer level of brutality as I see it when it's black people. But I see stuff. Let me see. Ben says, so now the facts don't mean anything? That's a yes or a no. I don't even understand your question. I see the question. Let me answer your question. Your question is, so do facts mean anything? Yes, facts mean something. I don't always understand. I don't always understand. Angela says, if we deny those statistics, it's mostly to make us feel better in our ignorance. And Jenna says, I agree. It's to maintain the image of a black person as a criminal. Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that. Now, I would be shocked if I found out that the larger media companies who they make a decision what to broadcast. They make a decision what to broadcast. And if they were like, we never see those videos, so that's why you don't see them. I'd be shocked if somehow that was proven true. They see them. If I see them, they see them. They just decide, no, not going to run them. Not going to run them. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Ben is back with some more nonsense. She asked if white people were abused more. I thought I answered her question quite sufficiently. Janice? Let me ask Janice, because Janice may have understood it. Janice, did I answer your question of whether white people were abused more, the same, or whatever? Did I answer your question? Emanuel, what does GTD stand for? I'm not answering that question. Oh, that question is just as logical, though, as what's his name's questions. Shahira says, did you see my comment on the 5 cops from Memphis? I did not. Shahara, hold on, let me scroll back through unless you want to retype it. I did not see your comment. Let me scroll. I'm scrolling. Scrolling. I don't see a comment from you. I don't see a comment. I do not, Shahara. If you would please resend it, I'll read it and, if appropriate, address it. But I don't see your comment. Let's see. You took the long road home but never made it. It was a yes or no answer. It actually wasn't a yes or no answer, if I remember the question. It actually wasn't a yes or no question that she asked. And I think I sufficiently answered it. Just because you didn't comprehend it doesn't mean it wasn't sufficiently answered. So maybe ask somebody else what the answer was, and they'll simplify it for you, and then you'll understand it. Let's see. Angela says, isn't there a database of police-involved shootings resulting in homicide? I think it included demographics. But here, I don't necessarily trust these databases that they compile. Because a lot of times, and I'm not sure if such a database does exist. I'm not sure that it does. But a lot of times, I was at an event. There was a guy from the FBI. He was speaking, and he was talking about the statistics that they compile. And one of the things that he pointed out that I have been saying for years, not as if I knew this and nobody else knew it, but just, I have been making this assertion for years, and it felt good for the guy whose job it is in the FBI to do this, to point this out. He said a lot of the times these statistics are incomplete. And a lot of the reason why some of them are incomplete is because they're voluntary. We're under the impression that if it happened, the FBI know it and it's in the statistic. He said, but there are municipalities all over the country who just don't participate. They just don't send their numbers in. And that's the way they compile. There's not a person at every, place in the country like, ooh, it was a shooting, mark it down. Oh, another one, hashtag, no. So he was like, they're voluntary. And so if this police department chooses not to share their statistics, they're not added in. And so when I hear people, talk about statistics, I understand and Angela, I see you saying got you and all that kind of stuff. But I understand people relying on statistics for different things, but I don't like statistics a lot because that information can be skewed as well. That information can be skewed. So I don't like it. It's like I talk about how some of the stuff Joe Biden said and where they're like, well, this needs context. That's how I look at statistics. But people look at statistics since it's numbers, like it's math, like 2 + 2 is 4. And you don't be like, well, 2 + 2 is 4. Well, that needs context. No, 2 + 2 is 4. It's 4, period. It doesn't need any context. You had 2 of those, you added 2 of those, you got 4 of those. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't have the thing. Please call back, Janice. I apologize. I will answer if you call back. I have to have the screen up because I turned the ringer off. Maybe let me just turn the ringer on. I turn the ringer off so that when it happens, it don't just pop in and scare the crap out of me. So if you call back, I will see it and I will answer. Where was I? I was talking about statistics. People look at them like a mathematical equation, but it's really not. It's numbers, but then you take those numbers and you draw a conclusion from them, which I don't like it when people do that. So that's why, I'm like, statistics. Yeah, okay. Black Lion wants to know, do I know why they named Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis? I don't. If you want to share, I'm open to hear, listen, and learn. Almost always open to hear, listen, and learn. Angela says, I think police murder would be harder to hide unless it's random bodies being found under mysterious circumstances. No, I get that, but I'm saying you're like, police murders would be hard to hide, but you don't have to hide them if you just don't report them. If you just don't report them. And if, say, Cincinnati just decided, you know what? We killed 10 people this year, but I want to report something to the FBI, so let's just say we killed 5 of them. And that's what they send to the FBI. So then the FBI is like, okay, there were 5 police-involved shootings in Cincinnati. And we all be looking at it like, no, it was 10. We know it was 10. But the FBI don't know it was 10. The police said 5. The FBI said it's 5. So that's what I'm saying. It's difficult to hide them. That's only if you actually got to hide them. You could just not report them. And they don't get in any trouble. They don't get in any trouble. It ain't like the FBI going to be like, hold on, y'all sent us 5. They like, we ain't have to send y'all shit. Be happy with the 5 we sent you. Ain't no law say we got to send y'all these statistics. So, but yeah, it would be difficult to hide a murder. It would be difficult. If there is some independent organization that's compiling these numbers, I think it would be also, equally difficult for them to get accurate numbers nationwide. Because you got to be everywhere. And it could be, a case of some some case of something where, it goes under the radar. Just goes under the radar and nobody pays attention to it. Brent says, bad and incomplete data in, bad and incomplete conclusions out. But people, I've had, especially white conservatives, when they used to call me, they stopped calling me. I don't know why they stopped calling me, but I used to get calls from when I was at the radio station initially, and I would fill in for Lincoln. When I first start filling in for Lincoln, and when I first start filling in for Sister Speak, I would get calls from angry white male conservative Republicans. They would call me all the time, thinking they was gonna stump me on something. And one of their favorite things to talk about was the FBI statistics. So they believe them when they want to, because when the statistics suggest something that they don't believe in, they're quick to tell you, well, those are just numbers. Who's to say it's complete? Like, but wait a minute, but you was just touting those numbers. You was just touting those numbers. But when they suggested that black people are more criminal, I saw there's a shoot, what's his name? Stephen Washington. He's one of my Facebook friends. And he posted something about the statistics. I guess Cincinnati police released some homicide numbers, and he said the numbers were victims heavily skewed black, exceptionally large percentage, and the perpetrators heavily skewed black. So he's saying all these black people are out here shooting black people. All these black people are out here shooting black people. I asked a simple question which never got answered on the post. How many of them crimes are solved? How many of them crimes are solved? And I know that sounds like a ridiculous question to somebody. To somebody that sounds like a ridiculous question. What do you mean? If they give you the numbers, and I'm gonna use a round number, say it was 100 shootings, and 98 of them was black males, it's safe to assume that 98 of them was shot by black males. But if you didn't solve the crime, how can you make that conclusion? So if there were 100 people shot and y'all solved 30 of them, and let's say the 30 that y'all solved was all black men did it, you can't then necessarily extrapolate that data and say, well, that mean all of these was done by black men. You can't tell me who the perpetrator was until you know factually who the perpetrator was. At least that's the way I function. If you don't know for sure, you just assuming stuff. So that's why if you give me a set of numbers and you say, we had this many homicides, this many of them were black males. Okay, that, you know what I'm saying? You could say, all right, damn, that's a lot of black men getting killed. Okay, that you got. I wouldn't even argue with that. Yeah, that's terrible. What can we do about that? And this is how many black men did it. The percentage of black men who committing the crimes is 92%. So that means you done solved 92 of them crimes, 92 of them murders. Well, no, it's not. But we have witness statements that say, but you can't go by that. You can't go by what witness statements say and all of that kind of stuff. If you ain't solved it, you ain't solved it. So you can't give me them numbers and expect me to just take those numbers and say this is factual information. You telling me a witness ain't ever lied about a description of a person? Diane says, I keep freezing up. She going to YouTube. I'm not sure that it's that either, because I'm losing pictures on this side, and so they come up every once in a while. Like now I see your profile picture there. But so I think it might be something going on this end. Even though I'm hardwired in, I did have some issues earlier. So hopefully I can keep going. I only got like 20 minutes left. I think we'll be all right. But yeah, down in Regina says she thought it was me. Now I think it's me. Hold on, let me do this. I hope I don't get cut off. If I do, I'll get right back on. I promise. But I'm just gonna refresh real quick. It shouldn't cut me off. But I'm gonna refresh and see if that works. Sammy says there's a high wind advisory. Oh, that might be it. But let me refresh real quick. If I go away, I'm coming right back. If I go away, I'll be right back. Let me see. Like it reloaded. I'm back up. Looks like I'm still live. And let me see. Can anybody? Shahara says, yeah, I don't know what's going on. You went out on my computer, had to come back on my phone. Hopefully that solved it. I'm hoping that solved it. But if it does it again, let me know, and I'll see if there's anything else that I can do to make sure that doesn't happen. Nat says I'm good. But see, Nat, I don't see. Everybody's giving me the thumbs up, which is great. Okay, there is Nat's. So it looks like I am running a little slower than normal. I don't like that. Look, I'm paying for this. I'm paying for this stuff. My speed should be what it's supposed to be. I shouldn't be slow. Should not be slow. I don't like that. There we go, running a speed test now. All right. I look like I should be good. Jenna said y'all should just go to the afternoon experiment page. It's working just fine. Y'all should go to that page. The afternoon experiment page got like 3 people. Oh, y'all really should go to that page. But it looks like I'm good. Let me see. I'm failing the fact checker. I don't know what that means. You just saying random stuff now. But okay. Sierra says she'll also try YouTube. Y'all could try the Facebook page, the afternoon experiment. Or again, you could go on YouTube. YouTube is there. And if you go over there, subscribe. As a matter of fact, go to the afternoon experiment with Emanuel Livingston YouTube page and subscribe. Not just the Emanuel Livingston YouTube page, the afternoon experiment with Emanuel Livingston. Let me see. Was there something else? There was something else. Sierra says the YouTube is working. All right. Tria says, hey, folks. All right. Y'all funny. You were talking about white people being harassed by police, and bang. But yeah, I don't necessarily always believe statistics. I just don't. And Tria say they here. Tria say they there. I can't tell who's in which page, just so y'all know. That's right, Brent. It is free to subscribe. Free to go to the Afternoon Experiment on YouTube and subscribe. I'm trying to. There was something else, but I don't have it. Okay, the thing about the officer sending pictures. The thing about the officer sending pictures, which is horrible. That's just horrible. That, to me, that shows a depraved person. That's a depraved person. Oh, no, there was another story where, wait a minute, where was it? 13 Memphis officers could be disciplined. They say 13 Memphis officers could end up being disciplined in connection with the violent arrest of Tyree Nichols. As a city council member expressed frustration during a meeting with the police and fire chiefs for not moving quickly on police reforms following the brutal beating. 6 officers have already been fired. 1 more has been relieved of duty. Prosecutors say the January 7th arrest, which was captured on videos, led to Nichols' death 3 days later. Chief Legal Officer Jennifer Sink told the council that the number of officers disciplined for policy violations could rise to 13. Police spokesman or spokesperson Karen Rudolph said 6 officers whose involvement has not been publicly disclosed could face administrative charges. Rudolph stressed that an internal police investigation remains ongoing and the number of officers disciplined could change. So, I mean, that'll be good. That'll be good. Andre says they need to investigate the cops he sent the pictures to. If he felt comfortable sending them pictures, they're suspicious. I agree. Shahara says another black guy came forward. He was brutally harassed by the same 5 cops 3 days prior to Tyree Nichols. He's suing the cops and the police department. And that, I mean, there's no shock to me that there are other victims of these police. It's not a shock to me at all. None. So, again, I think everybody who showed up and was there before he was rendered aid and didn't render aid, I think they should all be fired. At the very least, they should all be fired. I really think they should all be charged. Because I was reading somewhere where they were basically saying it's possible that had he gotten aid, like, quickly, he might not have died. I don't know how true that is. It was just a report that I was reading. Didn't have a lot of, factual citations in it or anything like that. But if that's the case, everybody who showed up and didn't render aid should be charged. Maybe not all second degree, but should be charged with something. They should all be charged with something. Five 513-717-5464. 513-717-5464. was something else. Oh, hold on. I forgot to mention this. This is very, very important. Possibly the most important story, of the year, maybe the decade. And I missed it, or I forgot to mention it. I forgot to bring it up. Apparently, LeBron James cured cancer last night. Yes. Just amazing. And I wouldn't have expected that from him. You know, there's a lot of things I would have expected, but I would not have expected that. You know, that changes the game. And I know I heard Joe Biden talking about it during the State of the Union address. Joe Biden was talking about it. And for LeBron to hear that and then to just do it just like that, that's amazing. And hold on. I'm sorry, they're talking to me. He didn't cure cancer. Oh. What did he do? He scored some points in a basketball game. Ain't that what he do on a regular basis? Oh, they're telling me that. Okay, I get it. My bad. I read it all wrong. I saw, it was the biggest thing ever. And I thought nobody would be making that big a deal about something if it was not extraordinary. But I figured he had to have cured cancer, but no. Apparently, he plays a game. And in this game, over the accumulation of the years of playing said game, he has scored more points than other people who have played that game in that league. Pales a little bit in comparison to like curing cancer. But I guess, you take it where you can get it. So LeBron James apparently has played basketball for a long enough time in the same league to have scored more points in that league than anyone else has scored in that league. And it's the most amazing thing ever. So, wow. Amazing. He plays a game and he's good at it. All right. That's a little anticlimactic to me. I was thinking cancer. Like, no more cancer? But he scored some points. Okay. I don't even know where to go from there. I was given bad information. And I was thinking it's Black History Month and a black man just cured cancer. They can't tell me shit. That's what I was thinking. But now I'm like, oh, it's Black History Month. And a guy who posed as a monkey, as a gorilla, has scored more points in a particular league playing a game than anybody else has scored in that same particular league playing a game. Okay. Not quite the same. But I guess if that's the most important thing to you, then that's the most important thing ever. So, all right. I don't know what else to say. I think I'm supposed to be excited about it, but it's such a letdown from what I thought. Hold on, let me try to pump myself up about it. He's a grown man. He play a game. And he scored points playing a game. You don't play that game very well. So you haven't scored any points in that league But he has scored a lot of points in that league. That makes him a better human than you. It makes him much more valuable of a person than you. It makes him the most important person. Maybe if he just because it's a game, but it's an important game. It's a really important game. It's a life-changing game. People's lives are saved because they watch basketball. No, they're not. I'm trying, y'all. I don't know how to. A dude who played a game scored a lot of points playing that game. That's all I keep coming up with, and I'm trying to get myself there. But I can't get myself there. I can't get myself there. I'm sorry. So, okay, for all of y'all who think that this is the most important thing ever, congratulations to you. LeBron James scored some points playing a game. Congratulations. I hope, you know what I'm saying, it raises the dead, or it puts more money in your pocket, or, you know what I'm saying, it buys you a new house. I hope it buys you a new car. Whatever it does for you, congratulations to you. LeBron James scored more points yesterday. Congratulations. I don't have like no confetti or nothing. That's all I got. Nat says, which wrestler has the record? I don't depend on which record you're talking about, but who cares? In the grand scheme of things, who cares? Who cares? It means nothing. Who cares? Like if you, Nat, if you are like, I don't care who has won the world championship in wrestling more than anybody else, I'm not going to be like, why you hating? You just don't care. You got a right to not care. And you got a right to be like, it's not that important. Because, you know, it's not that important. It's not. It's not that important. It's really not. And people mad. Why are you hating? Why are you hating? How's the hate? It's not that important. It's not. Oh boy. I sound like the biggest hater ever. Well, then why ain't you congratulating me? Come on, we just congratulate people for doing stuff. He plays a game and he scores some points. We going bonkers. I'm the biggest hater ever. Where's my congratulations? Come on. Let me see my congratulations. Y'all can ride my D like y'all riding the gorillas. The man posed as a gorilla. He put out the image of a black man as being a gorilla. Come on. I'm going to tell you this. If you would have told me, like right now, if you train a gorilla and you put him in the NBA, I think he could probably score more points than anybody else. It's not a shock. I wouldn't be shocked. Not at all. Like, you see that gorilla balling last night? Like, boy, he was jumping up there. He was running people over. I wouldn't be shocked at all. So I'm not shocked that a man who posed as a gorilla to put out the image to the world that black men in America are basically the same as gorillas could do some stuff. Not shocked at all. Not shocked at all. Hold on, here come my congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. I want to. It's been such a long journey. Y'all don't know the stuff that I've had to overcome to be here. I want to thank my mama and my daddy. Because without them, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't exist. I want to thank my family, my brothers, my sisters, who helped me, nourish the hate inside. Hold on. Y'all just don't know how long of a journey it's been. Of course, I want to thank God. Because without him, I would be nothing. I would be a terrible hater. And so to get to the point where I'm the biggest hater, I accept this award on behalf of everybody who didn't believe that you could hate. It's in you. Hours, days and days of practicing. Lincoln Ware, all of the years is hating on you. And you taking it. This is really important. Honor and achievement. This is proof that if you set your mind to something, if you set your mind to anything, you can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. I'm sorry. It's been such a long journey, long time coming. And when I think back, just thank everybody. Everybody who made this possible, my whole team. I love you too. I love you too. Hold on. I had to compose myself. Y'all don't understand. Now I understand, LeBron. Now I understand. Oh, y'all, I got to get ready to get out of here. Being the best at something is an amazing feeling that most of you will never know. Most of you will never know. But me and LeBron, we know. We know. We know. And we feel it. In this Black History Month, we've accomplished something that you will never accomplish, never get close to. I got to get out of here. Got to go celebrate with the people who love me. I'll be back tomorrow. you can achieve anything you put your mind to, including playing a game and scoring points. Or, even greater, being a good hater, great hater, biggest hater of all time. Till next time, it's been the Afternoon Experiment. I'm Emanuel Livingston. I'm great because I hate. I'm out, y'all. Peace.